Hi everyone, my name is Etredu and I humbly welcome you back to my channel. Well, we are back again with our reaction videos. I know it's been a while. As we are acknowledging this particular piece, it is from Turning Point UK and it is titled as Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens Decimate White Liberals. Bro, as usual, I don't know what to expect since this is my first time watching this particular piece. So please sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this beautiful video. Let's go, let's go.
Was there ever a point in history where white privilege did exist?
No.
Okay, simple question.
Yeah, I suppose when we lived in a country where if you were black, you were not allowed to go into certain places, right? I suppose you could say again, and I guess that wouldn't be white privilege. You would call that Nordic privilege in the progressive era when there were signs that said Irish need not apply. So that's a different, that is white on white, a lack of a privilege. Of course, there's examples in the history of the world where you would have been privileged if your skin was white, especially in this country and in other countries as well. But today, no, white privilege does not exist.
When did it end?
Over time, beginning with the civil rights era, it's not a particular incident or moment, but multi-generations, the country became significantly less racist. I would say after Reconstruction, after the Civil War, after, when we had desegregation, fought the Democrat institutional racism, we fought back against the KKK, when the Civil Rights Act was signed, when blacks were allowed to participate in Major League Baseball, the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, serve an elected office, all those things, contributed to the end of what used to be privilege in society, white privilege.
You said less racist. Is it still somewhat racist?
No, do you just have questions? I think.
No, you said you wanted a dialogue. We're having
Oh,
a conversation.
okay. No.
It's the least racist country in the world.
No, America is not a racist country today.
Is it still racist? So
No.
when did it end?
No.
There's certain.
You can't answer the question.
It ended when it's.
I just did.
Okay,
No, you didn't. You said less
I will
racist.
answer. I'll answer.
When
I'm
did it
answering
end?
you.
Thank you.
When it stopped being systemic, when there stopped being laws in
Yes.
place that stopped
That's
me
a
as
great
a black person doing what you are able to do as a white man.
No, I'm not asking that. Systemic racism is not simply that issue.
Yes, you just asked
about
me to
the
define when it stopped being, when this
What about
country
what?
stopped being racist. That's the answer.
When?
That I can't give you the exact date and time and hour. I'm telling you
Give
when.
me the decade.
What do you mean?
Mid-1970s.
Yeah,
Mid-1970s. So mass incarceration affecting black and brown communities disproportionately
Because they
to their
committed,
population.
more crimes.
They
Yeah,
committed
well,
more-
yeah.
As to why? Why did they commit more crimes? Is it
Because
they
we
were
ripped
black,
apart the
or was it
family.
Because
It's
of their
not-
economic situation. I'm
absolute-
not fucking talking to you, dude.
Why are liberals so angry? I can't figure
Yo,
out why
calm
you're angry.
down.
Why are you
I'm not a
angry
liberal,
right
so
now?
stop assuming my political
Okay, well,
affiliation.
you
Definitely
just
not a
came out of
conservative.
nowhere and just start cursing.
No,
I
you
think
invited me up here, I
think-
raised my
I
hand,
know,
and
but
you
I'm
said,
saying
"Please
you
come
just
up
turned
here."
around and
No,
you're
stop
cursing
trying
at
to change
someone.
the-
Why don't you calm down? It's just a conversation.
perfectly calm. I can curse
You don't
while
have to
being
turn
calm.
around and curse anyone
It's
behind
getting
you.
heated, bro.
You're okay?
It's a free country, right?
Okay. No, but I'm saying that it's not necessary to have this dialogue for you to
Necessary.
turn around and be angry. I do always remark, and I am going to suspect that you are liberal because right now you're trying to sell me
I'm
my
not
own.
liberal.
You're
I
selling me
just
my own
said it.
oppression, so that's a very liberal
I'm not
stance.
liberal.
Usually, when a white man stands up and tells me that yes, this is a racist country and is oppressed, they do tend to be liberal. Only liberals try to sell me my
But
oppression.
I'm not.
But okay, I'm not going to assume your
Thanks.
political ideology. So here's
I do.
here. I mean, to answer your question for me, when the system stops being racist and there's nothing stopping us, and you brought up the prison rates, and you said something that was actually really important. You said it's because their communities have been economically depressed. So that would not be because of the color of your skin. That's economic privilege. If you ask me whether or not I believe in economic privilege, I would tell you yes. If you ask me whether or not I think that somebody born into a family of billionaires will be afforded more privileges in life than somebody that is born in the projects of Chicago, I would say yes, because economic privilege in this country does exist. But there is no law in place that is stopping a person because of the color of their skin from gaining that economic privilege, which is why I do not believe that white privilege, which is based upon the color of your skin, exists.
Is black poverty and white poverty different? Do
No.
they face different?
No, poor is poor.
That's a lie. White people are more likely to be in rural poverty, which is different than urban poverty.
That's because
in
black
close-knit-
people don't live in rural parts of America.
What?
That's because black people don't live in rural parts of America.
Why? Historically, why? Why did black people flock?
Because of Lyndon
to
Baines
urban-
Johnson, urban planning, central planning, Great Society, where he said, we are going to verticalize the black community, destroy the black father, introduce drugs in the late 1960s, subsidize single motherhood, which used to be 22% in the 1960s, which is now 73%. Only a government program could make something like that happen.
Did it have anything to do with the lynchings in the South and the hostility towards black people in the South?
Well, first off, you say
is there any reason
you're
why they
sitting,
left the South
just
for that
so
reason?
just so everybody
Is that-
knows, literally not half, but 1/3 of the people that were lynched in the South were white Republicans. So Republicans were being lynched in the South as well. So let's not pretend that
okay, that's
if
fine,
your
but that's
argument,
not-
if you're
that's not
asking
addressing
me,
my
it
point.
seems
You're
like
just- that's a what about
it
argument.
seems
You
like
just addressed something
you're
else.
no. I just responded.
Does
You
it
said
have
it was a
anything
dialogue.
to do black people leaving the South and going to inner cities and other
He just
parts of
answered
the
that
country
question for you.
have anything to, no, I said, does it have anything to do with the KKK
Very little to nothing.
lynchings
Yes.
and violence in the South that black people face?
So what it has to do with is the fact that black people continue.
Answer my question.
No,
Very little to
Does
nothing.
it? Yes or no?
Very
You're
little.
not allowing
Answer.
me to listen. You're not going to be like you're not my boss. So
guys
don't
do the
tell me
same shit.
don't
You
tell me
guys
how I
talk
have
over
to
people all the
answer
time. I
your
was just
question.
over there
Okay,
with you shutting people down.
nobody's intimidated from you telling me how I'm
I'm
going to
not
answer
trying
your
to
question.
intimidate you. I'm
You're not
trying to
going
have an
you're
honest
not going to cut me off.
conversation.
Okay.
No, I'm
So
trying to have an honest
why don't you
conversation,
stop?
which you
Why don't you
guys do
stop
not want to.
exercising your invisible white privilege and let the black girl talk for a second? Okay.
No, this has nothing to do with
Okay, so to answer your question,
white privilege
everything
exists.
that you're
Wait,
talking
wait,
about,
wait, wait,
no,
wait.
I said invisible white privilege.
doesn't exist
I
then.
said invisible white privilege. If you listen,
Of course it's
okay?
invisible.
So
White
first
privilege is
things
not a
first,
tangible
white
thing.
privilege does not exist. Economic privilege does exist. Okay? If you're asking me, do I think the black community has been crippled economically? The answer would be yes. It has been crippled economically by Democrat policies. You just heard
Who
me
cares
say that
who
in
does
there.
it?
I
Democrats
care,
are
because that
Americans.
tells you-
Democrats are in America,
because
so
that
therefore
tells
you
you-
just
that
admitted
tells you-
that there has been disadvantages
it
by
is not
two
race.
black
It
people
is
by
not-
Democrats
it
who
is
are
not
American.
based
You
off
just
of
admitted it.
it is not based off. You asked
No.
me if white privilege exists. The answer is white privilege. Because you're born white, that means you're going to not
You
have
just-
this or that. It does not exist. No, it does not
You just
exist.
admitted that the Democrats, the boogeyman Democrats,
They're not boogeyman. They
disadvantaged
exist.
the black
Boogeyman
people.
doesn't exist.
No,
60 years
Democrats
ago.
do exist.
they did it.
So
60
boogeyman means doesn't
They did
exist.
it.
Just so you know, there
We're
are
talking about
Democrats.
So
today.
you admit that it exists.
60.
I don't think you're comprehending. You're not.
So,
You're not
let-
I'm
comprehending.
not sure that you are. You said
60 years ago, white people had it better than black people. Over time, there's no more systemic laws that are in place. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What can a white person
Do
do
we
that a black person
disproportionately-
cannot do today in today's America? Name one thing.
well, black people have
Answer
a hard-
the question. Isn't that
I'm
how
about to
this
answer
works?
the fucking question. Black people who smoke marijuana, black and white people smoke marijuana at the same rates. Yet a black person is 3 to 4 times more likely
I can
to be
answer
put
that.
in jail for that.
Okay,
And I
because-
know the reason why, because the police are in the urban
No,
communities. It's easier to police those communities. Sure.
because
But that-
actually, I had a girlfriend. I had a family member who got a DUI, and I had a
You are
girlfriend who got a
disgraced,
DUI.
just to let you know, by just saying what you're saying and standing up here and knowing what's going on through the police brutality, through injustice,
I
all
love
this stuff.
this is so.
You're
I
a
guys,
joke.
I
You're
love
a
that
joke.
behind me. There's like black people rolling their eyes, but the two white guys are yelling at me, telling me that I don't agree with them. This is what I love about white liberals, right? Like they know
I'm not a
it's so
liberal.
important
You're a
for
Marxist.
them to sell us
No, I'm
our
not.
oppression that they'll come up and tell us we're a disgrace. Just
Do
say,
you speak
just
for all
say
black
it, just
people?
say it, just say
Can
it.
you speak for
well,
all
why
black
don't you
people?
stop speaking for black people? That would be
not?
great, okay?
Oh my God. What a beautiful intellectual, heated conversation, bro. I love it. I love dialogue like this. I love interactions or dialogue that takes the Socratic point of view, or the method propounded by the philosopher Socrates. And according to him, we're coming out with a lot of, coming out with a series of questions. You are likely to extract the needed answer or response from your counterpart or the person you're having a conversation with. I believe that is exactly what just happened right here, bro. According to Charlie Kirk, white privilege is nothing but a myth. Now, if you bear witness, white privilege is something we've all heard about the years while growing up. Well, clearly, he made it very obvious with his stand that white privilege existed in those days, but not at the moment. So, in a way of paraphrasing his question, white privilege currently or in this modern world is a myth and does not exist. What is your stand on this particular subject or question, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get interactive at the comment section, and I'm always available to share my thoughts on whatever you do come out with. The gentleman is also of the opposing view that no, white privileges still do exist, bro, still do exist. And he went ahead to cite an example that the number of white and black people smoking marijuana in the United States does not differ. It is actually the same proportional level. But it is rather unfortunate that a lot of black men are being imprisoned for that same thing compared to white people. So indirectly, that is also some sort of, white privilege. Indirectly, that is also some sort of white privilege. And they ended up, going back and forth with a whole lot of, interrogation or interaction here and there. And that was a beautiful conversation. But it's rather unfortunate that it's gone to a point and people were losing their temper unexpectedly. You understand? People were losing their temper unexpectedly, and that's something I do not really appreciate in terms of intellectual conversation as such. But I really admire the fact that none of them attacked the personality of the other party, or none of them in any way attacked the other party. And that's one thing I like about them, even though they ended up heating or coming out with this heated argument. Now this is not the first time I've heard Charlie Kirk saying something like this, and I quote, "Tell me what white people are capable of doing that black people are unable to do in our world today." And I realize that normally when he comes out with that particular statement or assertion, people end up going quiet because it is difficult to pinpoint something that a white person is able to do in our modern world today and a black person is unable to do it, especially in America. You always end up, keeping the respondents mute when he brings something of the sort out. But let's think of it from a different perspective. Charlie and Candace Owens acknowledged the fact that white privilege was in existence several years ago. That is 60s and before that. Yep. So, don't you think there's a possibility that that has also somehow contributed to a whole lot of stuff affecting the black community, like in terms of finances and other stuff? Because I believe that the white privilege that existed several years ago, of which Charlie Kirk and Candace always acknowledged that fact, made it possible for a whole lot of white people to amass generational wealth, which has been passed down to family from generation to generation. So even if it does not exist, it has really caused the black community more harm than good, bro. So as I keep saying, anytime I'm reacting to something of the sort, I always try my possible best to stand at a neutral point of view or perspective, whereby I do not support any of the parties involved. So ladies and gentlemen, let me have your thoughts on this particular subject. Is white privilege still a myth? Bro, keep your comments coming and I'm always ready to, add something up to it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's been exciting reacting to this particular piece from Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. And I'm so excited I've gotten the opportunity to react to this particular piece with your wonderful people. Again, my name is Estrade and I'm so excited you got the opportunity to join me. If you love what I do and you genuinely want to be part of this beautiful family, do subscribe to the channel, like this video and keep your comments coming. Peace.